Aerobatic team, it's the Red Arrows! As I said, the team arriving on our world famous Diamond 9, trailing our red, white and blue. They arrive at approximately 450 miles per hour and they pull up and you can really see that plan form of the Diamond 9 as Reds 8 and 9 move their sails rearwards to convert into 9 Arrow. Reaching a height of approximately 5,500 to 6,000 feet at the top of that loop, with the aircraft slowing down to approximately 120 miles per hour. You hear the commands from Red 1, and Red 1 this year we've got a new team leader. That is squadron leader John Bond, known as Bondy. Bondy has been in the team for 5 years before taking a year out in 2023. He's been Red 2, 7 and the synchro leader before coming back in 2022 to fill in for one of the personnel that was unfortunately taken ill. Coming in from the left, you now see 6 and 7 move either side. The smoke will come on for Big Vixen. Bondy is a former Typhoon pilot. He was also a qualified flying instructor on the Tucano, where he was the Tucano display pilot in 2012. There are actually 11 pilots in the Red Arrows. We have Reds 1 through 9 performing for you today as myself, Red 10, former Tornado GR4 pilot, former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk Team Mark 2, and of course the military unit. We are commanded by Officer Commanding RAFA, that's Wing Commander Adam Collins. He was my predecessor as Red 10. Former Tornado GR4 pilot, and he also flew the F-111 while on exchange with the Royal Australian Air Force. Reds 8 and 9 now make themselves rearwards, and in this year it's no secret to anyone who follows aviation and military history. We celebrated the 80th anniversary of Operation Overlord, which of course was the storming of the Normandy beaches. And we heard Mike talking about the Spitfire taking the first kill on D-Day. And in from the right to commemorate that event, this is Spitfire.
The motor goes and fire.
On the right hand side of Red 1 is Red 2, that's squadron leader Chris McCann. He's in his first year on the team. Out of training, he was taken directly as an instructor on the Tucano. Once he finished his time as an instructor, he then joined the world famous 617 Dan Buster squadron on the GR4, where he actually received an Air Force Cross for service on operations over Afghanistan. His opposite number on the left hand side is Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wales, known as Dusty, originally from Zimbabwe, former Typhoon pilot, having flown with 11 Squadron, an instructor on 29 Squadron before joining the Test and Evaluation Squadron, 41 Squadron, all based at RF Coningsby. The smoke is on Reds 4 and 5 as either side of the front stem make their way rearwards. And in November last year, it was the 20th anniversary of the final flight of one of the most iconic and famous aircrafts in aviation history. As the team roll out, there is no mistaking the shape of the wonderful, majestic and iconic. This is Concorde.
And colour.
Showing the expertise of the pilots doing the formation in loop. And to make it even more difficult, you'll see Reds 8 and 9 once again move themselves outwards, change the shape from Concorde into Cygnet. The aircraft slowing down to only 120 miles an hour. The pilots fighting with the less responsive controls, and now it starts to increase to 200, 300, back to that 400 miles per hour, making the controls a lot more responsive as Red 1 brings them around to the left. With over 120 of them are the engineers, the logisticians, the administrators, the PR, and they are known as the Blues, named after the colour of their flying coveralls that they wear. And a number of them are at our PR tent at the back of the show, so please go along and say hello. You now see the wings have flexed forward, 6 and 7 moved rearwards and apart for the colourful Phoenix. In the middle of that right-hand wing is Red 4, that's Flight Lieutenant Ollie Suckling. Ollie's in his second year of the team. He was Red 4 last year and he remained as Red 4 and took up the position affectionately known as Uncle Enid. And this means he helps Red 1 through winter training, mentoring and leading the new pilots through their winter training all through the winter training period. And Red 4 would also like to give a shout out to Alcana and Ariana from their fave cousin Ollie, and also say hello to his uncle Christopher and his auntie Jane. You now see Reds 8 and 9 move their way rearwards and the team will form two distinctive rows. Coming in from the right, the smoke will come on for the chevron roll. On the front row, all the way over on the left-hand side, is Red 5, Flight Lieutenant George Hobday. George is in his first year at the team, a former Typhoon pilot, flown 11 Squadron at RAF Coningsby, and he has also taken part in operations over Syria and Iraq as well. The aboard call is made by Red 9 as Red 8 and 9, red smoke for Red 8, blue smoke for Red 9, rolling around the formation as Red 1 bends the team around the left, changes the colour to fly the Tornado down the line. As Red 1 continues to bring them around the left, the smoke will come on. This will be your last opportunity to catch the formation in our world famous Diamond 9. The smoke comes on from the right, the 2024 in Diamond 9, the Red Arrows. As we go into the second half, Red 1 has brought back one of the manoeuvres not flown since 2003. Once again, get your cameras ready for the 5-4 split. As we go into the second half, we now split down into smaller sections. Off to the right-hand side, you've got Reds 1 through 5. They're now known as Enid, named after Enid Blyton's famous 5. Enid from the right, Hannah from the left for the 5-4 cross. The Red Arrows were formed in 1964 with our first public display in 1965, and we were actually formed from 3 different teams. We were formed from the Red Pelicans, the Black Arrows and the Yellow Jacks. We took the red from the Red Pelicans, the arrows from the Black Arrows to give us our name, and then we took the aircraft from the Yellow Jacks. Coming in from the right, Enid will now create the shape to represent and pay tribute to that aircraft. This is Nat. Until 1980 when we took control of the Hawk T-Mark 1, which is still the aircraft that we fly today. And the Hawk is actually 50 years old this year, the T-Mark 1. And a lot of the pilots that have flown her have a fond favourite with her. She's extremely agile, extremely capable and great fun to fly. Get your cameras ready for the Hannah break. Red 6 and 9 to your right hand side. Hannah and the 6 climbing up now, red 6, Flight Lieutenant Stu Roberts. Stu is in his third and final year on the team, 100 miles per hour, looking to pass each other within only 30 metres, that's 100 feet, wingtip to wingtip. Get your cameras ready, this is the Hannah Pass. Instructor, each aircraft now turning hard as they complete the manoeuvre called Synchro. His third and final year in the team. As he lines up with Enid in the inverted V for the Goose.
Little bit right now.
Red 9 climbing up, changing his shape from blue into white into red. As I said, Paddy's in his third and final year. And he's also a qualified flying instructor on the Hawk team on one, and he's based on 2 weeks ago. As Enid leaves directly to your left, the smoke comes on. Get your cameras ready for the famous Synchro Heart. And coming in from the top right hand side is Red 8 as he spears the Heart. Red 8 is Flight Lieutenant Richard Walker, former Harrier pilot, former Typhoon pilot and qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark II. And Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wells would like to dedicate today's heart to his late Uncle William, whose birthday is today, and his wife Barbara and his children are here today, that's Chloe and Hannah. They will turn away from each other for the opposition barrel roll. As the Synchro Power leaves to our rear, coming in from the left hand side, you've got Enid, and they've now been joined by Reds 8 and 9. As Red Pull 1 pulls them up once again, over 450 miles per hour, he'll roll to the right. Get your cameras ready for the Vixen vertical brake. A 360-degree aileron roll after they cross. Pull go is a call from Red 6. As each aircraft now pull up what you and I are on the ground. They'll reach a height of over 3,000 feet. They'll be inverted 60 degrees nose down before they roll the right way up to complete the manoeuvre called Boomerang. Look in the distance, slightly to the right, you can see the white smoke. And the aircraft conduct a barrel roll, leaving a snake-like smoke trail in the sky. For the first part of the manoeuvre, we like to call the Serpent. As the team pass and Red 1 keeps that next part of the Serpent flat, you can see our famous red, white and blue. You may be able to see a small pod underneath the bottom of the aeroplane. That's the smoke pod. That smoke pod is capable of producing approximately 5 minutes of white smoke, 1 minute of red smoke and 1 minute of blue smoke, and each of the colours have its own individual button on the pilot's control column, and they're selected through the display to ensure that we have the right colour at the right time in the display. You now see reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 moved up alongside red 1. They're looking 90 degrees along their shoulders. Extremely hard formation to maintain as the smoke comes on. In the second part of the Serpent, the Tango present. From the officer commanding right the way down to the newest member is striving for excellence in everything that we do. And we also try to leave the squadron in a better place from whence we found it when we joined. As Enid leaves to the left hand side, once again coming in from the left is Hannah. He starts to ease up and red 6 is now pushing a negative G and he starts to roll. So he's trying to conduct now a negative G barrel roll. Red 6 working extremely hard against that negative G, stopping the blood from rushing all the way into his head as red 7, 8 and 9 hold on as the barrel roll for the mirror roll. And the manoeuvre finished off by reds 8 and 9 rolling back with the red and the blue smoke. Clear goes the calm as reds 4 and 5 roll around the outside. One of the hardest manoeuvres as reds 8 and 9 complete their drawing in the sky of 60 to celebrate our 60 display season. Keep your eye once again on red 6 from the right, 7 from the left for the synchro double roll. Look directly to your front, you can see Enid. Please put your hands together for the 2024 Royal Air Force Aerobatic team. It's the Red Arrow!